evening and welcome to 6 o'clock news. I'm NURAIEN MAISARAH and I'm here to bring you the latest updates on the education policy implemented, Memartabatkan Bahasa Malaysia dan Memperkukuhkan Bahasa Inggeris MBI policy. Without English, we'll just be jago kampung. This is the right phrase to describe English proficiency among students. The Malaysian education system promotes bilingualism and multilingualism through the establishment of primary school with 3 medium of instructions. Before MBI policy being implemented, PPSMI policy, pengajaran dan pembelajaran sains dan matematik dalam bahasa Inggeris take place. However, this policy failed to give many advantages to students and teachers. This is one of the footages taken at one of the schools in Malaysia that shows the failure of the PPSMI policy implementation.
It actually used an electrolysis to conduct an electricity from the anode, and then it's going to be conducted through any sort of substance waters.
Boleh tak cakap bahasa Melayu? Tak faham bahasa Inggeris.
Sorry, but this actually an information regarding that I need to teach this in English. So
Tapi saya tak faham. Dengan kawan saya pun tak faham apa yang saya terangkan. Boleh tak cakap bahasa Melayu?
MBI aims at upholding the Malay language and concomitantly strengthening the English language to cultivate a society with effective communication skill, promoting unity and to increase competency level in the international platform. In MBI policy, the status of Malay language as a national language can be further modified as it is July in 2009 and replaced by the MBI policy. At the same time, different initiatives are taken to enhance students' mastery towards English language. Dual Language Program (DLP), which is an effort of MBI, was introduced in year 2016. As highlighted in the MEB 2013 until 2025, great mastery of MBI as well as mastery abilities in multilingualism are vital considering the fast increasing global rivalry.
The first policy problems that we discover in Memartabatkan Bahasa Malaysia Memperkukuh Bahasa Inggeris policy is students' performance in mathematics and science subjects has decreased. This happened during the implementation of pengajaran dan pembelajaran sains dan matematik dalam bahasa Inggeris (PPSMI) policy, which was eventually abolished because it was proven that it could not help to improve the students' English proficiency. According to the survey, Malaysia's average math score fell from 508 to 474 in 2007. Malaysia's education level was ranked 20 compared to 10 prior to the teaching of mathematics in English and 21 compared to 20 in science. A researcher in 2011 discovered that students prefer to pursue science and mathematics courses in Malay. They also feel that teaching and learning in English is less successful, but they do not rule out using English in teaching and learning due to the importance of English as a world language. Many observers link this decline to the usage of the English language in mathematics teaching and learning. The second problem found through the PPSMI policy is the lack of English teacher and the competencies of the teacher to utilize the English language for academic purposes. A studies may include the pre-service teachers was made and found that overall of the pre-service teachers had negative perspective towards the PPSMI policy. So, they supported the government's decision to switch the instructional mode from English to Malay to teach mathematics and science. The findings also showed that more than half of them, which is a number of 58%, were opposed to teaching mathematics and science in English. In contrast to their dissatisfaction with PPSMI, it was discovered that the majority of them, with the numbers of 88%, agreed with Professor Emeritus Ugo Aziz's proposal to use the Malay language in teaching mathematics and science. Next, we found that before the implementation of MBI policy, the students' poor command of English is also one of the aftermath of PPSMI. After the implementation of PPSMI policy, it is found that students have low self-esteem when communicating in English, and not to mention that PPSMI policy also increases the workload of teachers as they need to do constant preparation of translating notes to their students. According to a questionnaire given to a number of teachers in the studies made, it is found that code switching was used to the vast majority of respondents, which is 80% when teaching mathematics and science in English. Furthermore, a large proportion of them, which is 82%, were comforted by students themselves request to teach the mathematics and science in Malay rather than English. We can conclude that from the findings where 82% of the teachers stated that students asked them to teach in Malay instead of English could be seen as the students have low command in English that forces the teachers to teach in Malay. Last but not least, many students still fail to master English language after the implementation of PPSMR, and most of them portray a passive attitude and less interest in science and mathematics, especially for students in rural areas. This is due to the difficulty of understanding the subject in English, as English is not the medium of command. Thus, the gaps in achievement of science and mathematics subjects taught in English between rural schools turns out to be wider. Based on the examination results, the findings show that the achievement in the primary school assessment test (TSR), lower secondary assessment (PMR), and Malaysian Certificate of Education (SPM) for rural areas with Malay language as a medium of instruction is much higher compared to that of English language. In addition, the performance of science subjects in UPSR 2009, the number of candidates in national schools achieving grades A, B, and C showed a decrease of percentage from 83.2% to 79.7% for rural schools. Meanwhile, for mathematics, the achievement for rural students dropped from 80.9% to 77% according to Tua and Mohini 2010.
There are 4 objectives that was implemented. And the first objective is to improve student mastery in BM and BI. For the first objective, the strategy that was implemented was increasing student participation in language engaged activities outside the classroom, academic, co-curriculum, programs, activities, and implemented at the school, district, state and national level using BM and BI. For example, Malaysian language promotion activities, English language promotion activities, activities for nurturing and strengthening the Malaysian and English language and National Language Month, BM. And for the second objective is to provide sufficient option for Bahasa Melayu, BM, and also Bahasa Inggeris teachers and improve BM and BI teachers' competence. The first strategy for the second objective is professional upskilling of English language teachers (Pro ELT) for improving the English proficiency of primary and secondary school teachers. Second strategy, collaboration ELTC with the British Council. The British Council and the Ministry of Education work hand in hand to ensure that Pro ELT maintains high standard and meets its objective. The third objective is improve infrastructure and support materials in PDP, BM and BI. For the third objective, the strategy that was used in expanding the use of materials and technology, information and communication (TMK) in PDP Bahasa Malaysia and English. The Ministry of Education has provided textbooks as materials that help the process of student learning. Then, material digital in the form of compact disc and laboratory content software online form is also available. Last but not least is the fourth objective, which is increase the use of Bahasa Malaysia and English in outdoor activities in the classroom. English language teaching assistance, the blueprint emphasizes the importance of enhancing English language proficiency among students. Lastly, the final strategy was the English language teaching assistance. ELTAs from English-speaking countries were deployed to Malaysian schools to assist with English language teaching and communication activities, add-on with one Prestalinet. This program is to aim and also to provide internet access to all nation schools.
Next, the policy evaluation for strength. For the first problems, teachers' performance in mathematics and science subject has decreased before MBM/MBI was implemented. With the implementation of MBM/MBI, Bahasa Melayu will replace English as the language of teaching in mathematics and science under this new policy. The replacing of the language thus helps the student to learn in their mother tongue and are more likely to progress to a higher grade. As a result, students are performing better in mathematics and science subjects. In the 2015 Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study, a total of 9,726 students chosen to take the examination performed better, with the largest increase of 45 points among 16 nations that improved in science with a significant increase of 25 points, placing the country among 18 other countries that improved in the subject. According to Education Director General Tan Sri Dr. Khair Muhammad Yusof, this quadrennial international evaluation showed how well students performed in each of the subjects with a score of 471 for science and 465 for mathematics, following a falling trend since 2003. The improvement in TIMSS 2015 may indicate that bringing mathematics and science in English to Malay in 2012 had an effect on students' performance. Therefore, when MBM/MBI begins to be implemented, we are likely to see a significant improvement in the results of mathematics and science subjects.
For the next policy problems, which are many students still fail to master the language after the implementation of PPSMI, and most of them portray a passive attitude and less interest in science and mathematics, especially for students in rural areas. The study found that after the implementation of MBI, one of the main core reasons why this policy has this strength is because in the year 2012, the education system of Malaysia for UBSR subject mathematics and science has reversed from PPSMI to MBI. It has shown that the consequences of the policy was reversed. It gave an inclined impact to the percentage of achievement for UBSR students for both of the subjects. It could be seen from Yayasan La Salien Kuching data. The table shows that the improvement for mathematics has jumped up to 78%. The another subject, which is science, also has a great impact, which the percentage rose as high as 67%. For the next policy evaluation, we can see the objective of MBI to improve infrastructure and support materials in PDP Bahasa Melayu and Bahasa Inggeris was successfully achieved. Malaysia's Ministry of Education (MOE) improved the facilities and resources by invest and focus in the improvement in school building upgrades, new equipment, classrooms and facilities in order to provide a better learning environment for students. They have also updated classrooms with modern technology such as laptops, projectors, and interactive whiteboards to improve teaching and learning. Aside from that, the MOE has created comprehensive textbooks, workbooks, and educational resources to assist students and teachers. Various initiatives have proven to have a positive impact on the quality of education in different subjects, and we can see how the Ministry of Education is devoted to enhancing education by providing better resources for students and teachers. For the next objective, which is to improve students' mastery in Bahasa Melayu and Bahasa Inggeris, the MBI policy has positively impacted language proficiency among students. It has encouraged students to use both MBI in various aspects of their education, fostering a deeper understanding and mastery of this language. This approach has helped students become more fluent in both languages, which is essential in a globalized world. Furthermore, this new policy also has enhanced the communication skills of students as well as improved their academic performance. For example, the policy has improved students' communication skills in MBI, making them better equipped to express themselves, understand complex concepts, and engage in effective communication. Lastly, the policy evaluation for the last objective is to improve the competence of Bahasa Melayu and Bahasa Inggeris teachers. Teachers will take a few tests as part of the Pro-ELT program. The British Council will monitor teachers based on the result of these pre-proficiency tests in order to determine whether their competencies are increasing or remaining the same. Using the Selangor Literacy Project as an example, this project aims to instill a love of reading in primary school students, to assist English teachers in teaching, reading, and literacy skills, and to engage parents in encouraging their children to read and have fun while learning English. With the support and involvement of the Selangor Department of Education, the project runs across 6 primary schools in Selangor State to reach 50 teachers, impact 7,500 children, and engage 300 parents. This project has set KPI in 85% of teachers who follow the program will reach 1 band higher than the available achievement axis. Moving on, another goal of this MBI policy is to provide enough option for MBI teachers, with the government relocating MBI teachers based on need at the school. It is done in stages and continually up to the goal of the MBI policy. Aside from that, the government has been rearranging teachers in schools to align with real need and option, such as moving redundant MBI option teachers to school in need. Reading through all of the government's efforts and programs, we can conclude that the goal of this MBI policy is achieved, with the achievement of adequate filling of MBI teachers are according to requirements.
Now we'll explain about an evaluation of policy problem, which is the weakness. Firstly, one of the weakness of this policy is in increasing teachers' workloads and pressure. Teachers also face demands to improve the standards of their own English skills. After the implementation of MBI policy, somehow it makes ELT, English language teaching, a more challenging profession than ever. This is because the extension of contact hours has rapidly increasing for English, from 240 minutes to 270 minutes a week, and making English a must-pass subject in SPM. Therefore, this has teachers confront growing workloads and pressure, as well as demands to enhance their own English skills. Not only that, this is due to the Ministry of Education's belief that teachers' lack of proficiency is the primary reason of students' poor command of the language, according to Talib 2013. To assess their mastery of language, all 61,000 English language teachers in the country were requested to take the Cambridge Placement Test, which was offered online in 2012. However, according to the reports, this test was failed by 40,666 teachers, or around 2/3 of the total. Next is program done by the government under the MBI policy, which known the English Teaching Assistant Program, ETA. According to a study conducted, one of the weaknesses of this program is it does not really help in improving the students' low command of English. This research conducted involving students from Form 4 using their written and oral test scores between core teaching class and non-core teaching class. After comparing the results for the written test score between these two classes, we can only see few changes and minor differences. Thus, students from both classes scored poorly on their standardized tests. Students in core teach classes should perform better and achieve higher grades than students in non-core teaching classes. Next, despite its merits, the English language teaching assistance strategy is not without its weaknesses. One prominent concern is the allocation of resources. Providing additional English language teaching assistance can be resource-intensive, encompassing financial resources, qualified teaching staff, and suitable teaching materials. This allocation may strain the education system's limited resources, potentially diverting them for the other crucial areas of education.
Now, first of all, training and the seminars. Now, it is recommended for the school teachers to provide appropriate trainings and send them to relevant seminars to actually enhance their ability to actually utilizing the English language. This is to ensure they're able to be proficient in using such language for them to effectively use during their academic teachings and passing their Cambridge test. And for the second recommendation is that is about the English Day programs, the establishment of such programs. Now, student proficient in English language could also be a problem for the policies, which is for the policy to be success, as they do not have enough understandings of the particular language that being used. To increase their language proficiency, it is required for the relevant agencies to establish English Day programs. It is to enhance the student capabilities to utilize the English language through several interesting activities done through the program. And for the lastly is the government incentives. Now, some of the schools facing financial constraint when it comes to successfully implement the MBI policy, as they need to make an expenditures to train their teachers, acquiring relevant teaching assistant materials, and to also sustain their English language teaching assistant strategy. Therefore, by having a government incentive, which is additional budgets from the support of the government, it is crucial to ensure the school agency able to overcome such issue from occurring.
To conclude, every Malaysian student that goes through the educational system must be able to communicate in BM and BI. Mastery of BM and BI as knowledge languages will produce learners with a strong identity, noble, knowledgeable, and highly skilled personality. The MBM and BI policy, which replaces the failed PPSI policy, is a successful policy that provides several benefits to youngsters and even teachers. The government should continue this approach by introducing new initiatives that might help students discover their skills. Without a doubt, a dual language program, DLP, and the highly immersive program, HIP, that are implemented have a substantial influence. However, if many more activities are carried out, it will undoubtedly open people's eyes to the efficiency of this approach.